NFL fans, welcome back to another episode of the J All Day Sports Show. Today, I want to break down the offseason for the Los Angeles Rams and do a full 7-round mock draft for your LA Rams. The first thing I want to do is go over free agents. I want to then go over their needs going forward, what the hell is going on with Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, and the future of this team moving forward. Let's get into it. NFL fans, Rams fans, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, it really does help us get into the algorithm. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're closing in on 15K. That's all because of you guys. Thank you so much. All right, if you take a look at the screen right now, let's break down this Rams 2025 offseason. There are a considerable amount of free agents, right? Left tackles, Noteboom and Alaric Jackson. Huge deal. Demarcus Robinson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tutu Atwell. Not a ton of significant starters on this roster. Demarcus Robinson would be a big loss, so would Alaric Jackson. And from all the reports, it looks like he's not going to be there. Christian Rozeboom as well, the linebacker. We'll have to see if he comes back, but a lot of free agents, a lot of holes to fill this offseason, especially in the offensive line, in my opinion. Positions of need for these LA Rams, offensive tackle is number one. It looks like Alaric Jackson is probably going to leave in free agency. Jackson returns because Rob Haverstein isn't getting any younger at right tackle. We'll see. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp, his future is uncertain. Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell are probably going to be gone. Maybe you bring one of them back. We'll have to see. They still have superstar Puka Nacua, but who the hell is going to be throwing him the ball? It looks like Matt Stafford and the Rams, I don't know how or why it's fractured, but it is. It seems like he's going to be traded. I don't know what the hell's going on. And Cooper Kupp, they want to move on from him too. He did look a little bit like he was slowing it down a little bit. I said that to people earlier in the year when I was watching him in camp. He didn't look as crisp. He looked a little bit slower. But, I don't like being right on things like that when players are kind of aging and regressing, right? But, it is what it is. Tight end, inside linebacker, and cornerback are definitely positions of need as well. Going into this draft, they got a first-round pick, 2 3s, a 4, and 3 6s. We'll see if they get any more comp picks when these guys leave. They're most likely like 5th-round picks. But, all right, guys, let's get into the 7-round mock draft for the LA Rams. All right, Rams fans, take a look at the board right now. There's 2 really good tackles, right? And you could go corner a guy like Trey Amos, but there's too much value in Membou and Kelvin Banks. Who's the better fit for the LA Rams at pick 26? Kelvin Banks is a monster, dude. And he's an exceptional pass blocker, dude. 89.9 overall grade. True pass block grade over 80. He only gave up 1 sack each of the last 2 seasons with, over 500 passing snaps, right? So this dude's a monster. 3-year starter at left tackle. And he played all the big programs. We got Michigan here. We got Georgia. We got the Gators, Clemson, Texas A&M, Ohio State. The dude has played the best of the best of the best. Membou from Missouri. He's played big programs too, including Alabama, Oklahoma. He's good. Is he as good as Kelvin Banks? That remains to be seen. He had a big jump in production this year, but he's more of a right tackle. They want the left tackle that's going to be there forever. Kelvin Banks is going to the Rams at pick 26. It's a no-brainer for me, guys. All right, Rams fans. Unfortunately, we're not picking until 90th overall in the 3rd round. Not great. Inside linebacker is definitely a position of need for sure. So is wide receiver. Isaiah Bond is on the board here in the 3rd round. Bassa from Oregon is the best linebacker available. He's definitely an off-ball linebacker. Didn't really line up on the D-line too much at all. He's a pretty talented guy. 6'2", 235. Definitely on the smaller size, right? And if we go down, we're looking at who's left. We got edge defender Rucker, Tate Ratledge, the guard. Not so many great players. Mabuka. You know who I really like, guys, in a position of need? Kobe Bryant. Not that Kobe Bryant, obviously, LA fans, but this Kobe Bryant from Kansas is an exceptional cornerback, and he's a really good run defender, which I really, really like. Having cornerbacks that can come be physical and, participate in the run game is huge. 6'1", 175. A little bit on the slenderer side of the frames of cornerbacks in this draft. Mello Dotson, his teammate, another really good. He's a little better man-to-man coverage-wise, and I tend to like that. Especially in the NFL, you want a guy who can play man-to-man. He had good games, but he also had a bunch of dumpster fire games. Who else? Noel Williams from Cal, another guy I really, really like. I like his size too, 6'1", 200 pounds. Dorian Strong from Virginia Tech is another really good defender. Coverage grade 75. Man coverage grade, just pretty mediocre, right? 1 touchdown against, 2 interceptions, right? Cole Williams, I think, is the best cornerback here. 7 interceptions this year. This kind of playmaker doesn't come around every day. I love Noel Williams. I like his size at 6 foot. He goes to the Rams in the 3rd round. Okay, 10 picks later. Luckily for them, they get to pick again at pick 100 overall. Okay, where do we go now? All right, we drafted Kelvin Banks. We got our cornerback. Inside linebacker is a huge position of need. But are they worth drafting in the 3rd round? Jeffrey Bassa is still on the board here, guys. That missed tackle rate right around 9.5%. It's okay. It's not great, but it's pretty good. And, do we have to draft a quarterback? We'll know more once this kind of situation plays out with Matt Stafford. But I'm just going through who's left in this draft class, right, that could help this team, right? And for me, for my money's worth, I want to check out wide receivers. Just take a little. Jalen Noel is a guy I really like from Iowa State. Almost 1,200 yards, 8 tutties, almost 15 yards per reception. Receiving grade 81.7. Put him opposite of Puka Nacua, and you got a very formidable 1-2 punch here, guys. I like this pick. I think this is, a position of need. I think we can address linebacker later in the draft. These wide receivers are going to start to get gobbled up very, very soon. Jalen Noel goes to the Rams at pick 100 overall. Now, in the 4th round, listen, Jalen Milroe is still on the board, Rams fans. And I know this might be a little bit of a reach, but it looks like Matt Stafford's going to be gone. The picking is slim right now at the quarterback position. If Jalen Milroe still is on the board in the 4th round, you got to take a flyer on him. He's a top 5 quarterback in this draft class. I'm taking Jalen Milroe, guys. They're probably going to give me a terrible grade because Matt Stafford is still on the roster now, but he's on his way out. Maybe he has a year or 2 left. He can learn from Matt Stafford. Jalen Milroe, I think that's a great risk to reward pick there in the 4th round. Now, in the 6th round, guys, we got 3 6th-round picks, 189, 200, 201 overall. All right, take a look at who's left in this draft class. A guy that I really like, who's very interesting, who played in the box a lot, your true off-ball linebacker, is Jay Higgins from Iowa Hawkeyes. Very, very talented guy. I want to see him put on a little bit of size. A lot of these measurables aren't accurate quite yet. We'll get them more this weekend. But Jay Higgins, I don't even know if he's invited to the combine. We shall see. But I like that pick at 189 overall. All right, Rams fans, take a look at how we've drafted so far. The Rams don't have a ton of premium picks, right? No 2nd-round pick, 2/3. But we got Kelvin Banks, Noel Williams, Jalen Noel. We got really good players. Jalen Milroe in the 4th round. Jay Higgins. Now we got 2 more picks in the 6th round. We need to fill out this roster a little bit, guys. We need to figure out, where the weaknesses are, where we can add some depth to this roster. Offensive line definitely doesn't seem like a bad idea at all. All the positions of need we addressed except tight end, but where they were picking in the draft, there was no tight ends worth any of these draft picks, in my opinion. Dean Clark, the safety from Fresno State, pretty good player. Ricky White from UNLV is definitely an interesting wide receiver if you want to bring in a couple wide receivers, which might be interesting to do. Cam Horsley from Boston College, very solid interior defensive lineman, right? But the D-line is pretty solid for the Rams, so I'm not sure I want to waste a pick on that. Jason Marshall from Florida is on the board. Gadsden from Syracuse is on the board, the tight end. He's kind of fallen in this draft class. A 4% drop rate is pretty damn good. 7 touchdowns. Yeah, this guy kind of came out of nowhere for me. I'm picking him in the 6th round. Now, we're picking again the very next pick. Mile Frazier from LSU, big program guy. You know, I want the best player available. I want to find a diamond in the rough, right? See if any of the guys I've scouted before. Burks from West Virginia, 2 really good years early in his career. Injuries slowed down his progress, right, in this past season. Malachi Moore from Alabama is on the board. He's a very, very good player this late in the draft. Big-time program. You know, trends are Steelers, Bears, Pats. You know, do we go another cornerback? That's an interesting pick as well. But Malachi Moore is really good. Logan Brown, another tackle. Just bring in some offensive linemen, man. Logan Moore from Kansas, 6'6", 315. Probably more guard size, but man, I like that pick late in the 6th round for the LA Rams, guys. I want to build through the trenches, especially if we have a young quarterback, right? Yeah, PFF grades are a joke. Noah Williams on a team that had horrendous cornerback play all season long is an exceptional pick. I don't give a shit what PFF says. So is Jalen Noel, a team that doesn't have any wide receivers on their roster. Atwell's a free agent. Demarcus Robinson's a free agent. Cooper Kupp's going to get traded. We need wide receivers. Jalen Noel is an exceptional wide receiver. And then we got an A for Jalen Milroe in the 4th round. They actually like the Higgins and Gadsden picks. And Logan Brown. We need tackles that can block straight up. It looks like Matt Stafford's going to be gone, but who the hell knows, right? So they like Jeffrey Bassa better. I don't know if I agree with that. I think you need to pick a premium position in the 3rd round. Like, straight up. Jalen Noel, I want a wide receiver. We have no wide receivers. Why are we going to pick a linebacker if we have no one to throw the ball to? And we need wide receivers that can catch the ball and block in Sean McVay's scheme. I love this overall draft. They gave us a B grade. I think the D and D plus are bullshit from PFF. But, yeah, and they put out their like top 100 players. It was like the worst list I ever seen. So take PFF grades and like the grading system with a little bit of grain of salt. They had like Jalen Hurts as like 100th overall. And they had like Mark Andrews above him. Like, they don't know what the hell they're talking about sometimes. Sometimes it's more than the numbers. You got to watch the tape, see how these guys perform. Look at the tape on Noah Williams, man. 7 interceptions, straight ball hawk. But no 2nd round pick really hurts, right? Especially when you need those premium positions, right? All right, Rams fans, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace.